Hi, everyone. Give me a comment so that I know you can hear me. Oh, how weird. I'm hearing noise back. Oh, I know what it is. It's because I have that in the background. All right. I see ya, hear ya. Welcome. Yay. Hi, guys. This is so fun. When do you get to have a fairy tea party when you're 44 years old, right? Thanks for being here. I donned my wings. I've got my tea. What are you guys drinking? Oh, thank you, Barbara. Thank you, Elizabeth. And just prior to logging on, somebody private messaged me, there's a mermaid in attendance as well. I saw a photo of it. Anybody else in costume? Oh, cafe latte. Hi, there's people from other states. I love it. Thank you so much. An orange tea, someone says, an almond milk. Nice. I have some cinnamon, spice, and peppermint mixed together. I tend to always do two different kinds together. Anyone else in costume? Nobody said so. Maybe just the mermaid. I'll show you a little bit about my decor here. There's a little garden back there. These are all kinds of little fairy goodies. I had so much fun, you guys, preparing to see you today. I was finding all little goodies around. Juniper, mint, and honey. Annabelle, I don't know, she's in the other room. She's kind of been freaked out about the wings. I was just walking around. She didn't know what to think about that, but she might come in later. Yeah, I know. I could have put, well, I don't know. She wouldn't have done well with wings, but. All right, so the very first thing we have to do is we have to determine what your fairy name is, okay, in order to be in attendance. Can you see this? I can always read it if you can't see it. You are supposed to find the third letter of your first name. So like for me, that would be R. So that would be Sparkle. And then the birth month. And so in my case, I would be Sparkle Twinkle. That would be my name. Can you see this? Pippa Ice Glow? Is that something that someone made up, or is that, no, that is on there. Blossom Flora. Okay, I like that. Hey, that actually sounds really appropriate for you, Ella. That's cool. Blossom Twinkle. Welcome. Who else do we have? Starlight. Oh, wait, Ivy Starlight and Patel Snowflake. The Sparkle Stargazer. Yay! Lucinda Songbird. Wow. That sounds like a magical fairy. So cool. I think everybody got theirs. It does sound like a celebrity. Allison says, Laura, yours sounds like a celebrity. Lucinda Songbird, now presenting. I hope you guys can all see the chats on the side there. People are reacting to each other. Oh, That's perfect, Elizabeth. All right, I think everybody's got their fairy name. So welcome to the fairy party. I'm going to start us off with a little poem about fairies. This is called Dancing Fairies. It's by C.J. Heck. On warm, dark nights, I think I see, beneath the weeping willow tree, the fairies dancing in the grass on tiny feet, they fly so fast. The music is the wind that blows while fairies spin on bare tiptoes, and fireflies jewel up the night, reflecting fairies in their light. Round and round the fairies dance, on bitsy feet they skip and prance, through tiny dewdrops to and fro, till morning comes and then they go. I wonder where the fairies live, and do they know what fun they give to little girls and boys that see beneath the weeping willow tree? Or maybe adult ladies like us. I have a question for you guys. This is a question for young and old. What are the 3 things? Oh, your mom is late? No, she already commented, Laura. I saw it above. Does she need her fairy name? Let's see. Barbara would be Sparkle, but I don't know her birthday month. Her first name would be Sparkle, like mine, for Barbara. Barbara, did you see this for your fairy name? If somebody puts her birth month, I will say what the name is out loud. May? Okay. So she's Sparkle Snowflake. That's Barbara's name. All right. Here's the big question. What are the 3 things that you need to fly? All you need is blank, blank, and a little bit of blank. I know you know. Come on, my Disney fans out there. Yeah, close. Not the right quote, though, Allison. Allison said, wings, fairy dust, and imagination. I bet that would work, but that's not the official quote. There is a quote. Nope. Someone else says, wings, fairies, and fairy dust. That's very close. Come on, Dawn Holland. I know you and Jayla know this. Hope, faith, and fairy dust. Well, you're very close, Laura. You're so close. You're the closest yet. In fact, you only had one wrong, and then you had them in a different order. You're so close. Oh, Dawn. No. What does Peter Pan say to the kids in Peter Pan to get them to fly? All you need is... Laura's really close. She said hope, faith, and fairy dust. Stephanie. Stephanie got it really, really close. All you need is faith, trust, and a little bit of pixie dust. So fairy dust, I'll take that. You know that, right? And then they sing that second star to the right song in the Disney movie. I'm not going to shame my Disney friends, but I'm shocked you didn't get that. Pixie, right? Faith, hope, and a little bit of pixie dust. All right, so I know a lot of you already follow my channel. We are following along this year in a book called Simple Abundance. It's by an author called Sarah Von Bronick, And she rewrote this book in 2019. So my vlog is almost daily. I am on at least 3 times a week talking about her various entries because it's a day book. And then this is her previous version of the book. It's a day book of comfort and joy. This one I had read several years, and this is my first year going through the new edition of it. So for anybody who's just joining for the fun today of the Fairy Tea Party, I'm going to explain the reasoning for the Fairy Tea Party is because the author of this book, at the end of every month and after the monthly entries, she has what she calls joyful simplicities for that particular month that you're in. And she had one in the June month that suggested to have a Midsummer's Eve party. So I wonder if you guys know about Midsummer's Eve. Is there anything that you think of when you hear Midsummer's Eve? All right, nobody. I know the chat's like slightly delayed from me, but that was a little bit of time. All right, well, anyway, a theatrical play. All right, it's catching up now. Summer Solstice, yeah, yep. So I had to look it up because I've obviously heard of the Shakespeare play. So yes, it is a Shakespeare play. But it's actually a real holiday. And tomorrow is Midsummer's Day. So tonight is Midsummer's Night Eve. Yeah, that's how they say it. So the Shakespeare play was that Midsummer's Night's Dream. And I'm going to read a little bit from Sarah's entry about Midsummer. And then I did look up some things about the way that it's celebrated around the world. It's pretty interesting. I mean, you know how there are holidays that were there before various religions came into areas. And so it, not unlike Easter that became, that was sort of conjoined with another one. Same thing with Midsummer. It is also the festival of St. John the Baptist. But it was originally, Elizabeth said, the summer solstice. It was usually associated with that, which we just had on Saturday, right? One cool thing I was just reading about the summer solstice also is that apparently, you know how New Year's Eve is, it's midnight in New York at a different time than it's midnight in Tokyo, say, right? We know that. But apparently with the solstice, it's at the same exact time on the planet, no matter where you are. So isn't that neat? I didn't know that. So here are some words from Sarah about Midsummer's Night. For centuries, wise women have known that a bit of midsummer madness and magic are good for the soul. This probably explains why in Europe, Midsummer's Eve, June 23rd, has traditionally been set aside as a night for high-spirited merrymaking and light-hearted bewitchment. And then she goes into, there's a story of the Stillwaters. She mentioned Tasha Tudor and the great party that they hosted on Midsummer's Night. I'm not going to read too much into that, but these are Sarah's words. She says, and you can think about doing this tomorrow because tomorrow is Midsummer's Day, which doesn't that seem weird because it's just the beginning of summer? But actually, when you think about it, it really is the middle of the year. We're already halfway through the year. It's hard to believe. So these are Sarah's words. She says, I love Midsummer's Day. For me, it's a personal mid-course correction for the year. I wander out into the backyard very early in the morning and pluck a blossom from the garden heavy with dew. With my fingers, I'll pat the dew upon my face, for legend has it that any woman who washes her face in the dew of Midsummer's Day will grow more lovely with the passing year. So make sure you do that tomorrow. Fairy cakes are made for tea. Midsummer's syllable, A delightful concoction of cider, lemon, berries, and whipped cream is prepared for a moonlit picnic, and personal dreams are renewed. She goes on to say, being Irish, I don't dismiss the belief in love charms, magical herbs, and divination, for I know that there's more to this world than we ever hope to understand. But these days, I'm not so much interested in what the future holds as I am in the present. Writer Lucy Maud Montgomery. Oh my goodness, Laura, that's your favorite author. She wrote about Anne Shirley in Anne of Green Gables. I knew I recognized the name. Anyway, this is a quote from that author. She says, I believe the nicest and sweetest days are not those on which anything very splendid or wonderful or exciting happens, but just those that bring simple little pleasures following one another softly like pearls slipping off a string. That's what Lucy says. When midsummer arrives, it's a time to look ahead and dream. Perhaps if one is lucky, the days ahead will unfold as a never-to-be-forgotten summer. One of those summers which comes seldom into any life, but leaves a rich heritage of beautiful memories in their going. One of those summers which, in a fortunate combination of delightful weather, delightful friends, and delightful doings, come as near to perfection as anything can come in the world. And Sarah closes by saying, may this potent midsummer spell never be broken for you and those you love. I see Stephanie saying she's going to do the thing with the dude tomorrow, right when she walks out the door. Yeah, I mean, if you know the book, some of you are following along with me in it. She does make ceremony of a lot of things. But I love what was just said there, and that was from the Lucy Montgomery author, that sometimes the most magical, memorable days are sort of the days when it's a normal day. She said nothing magical happened. I mean, I feel like I'm never going to forget this, because when would I have a virtual live fairy tea party like this? Like, this is really one of a kind. So this will be one of my unforgettable days. But I like how that's a very simple, abundant statement of her to share, that sometimes you can find this, quote, simple abundance in the smallest little things. Just from putting dew on your face and looking at the beautiful flowers in your garden. I also like how she suggests that we pause and think about, here we are at the halfway mark. And for those of you that follow my channel regularly, what a year we have had. I mean, aside from even everything going on in the world, even if it had been sort of a normal year in that respect, from going through the book, I would say if I had to sit down in my journal right now and explain to somebody how the year is going and where I started at January 1st with my very first video and up until now, the book and the channel and you guys commenting and everything, it's having a profound effect on me. It's so positive. And even like yesterday, I shared with you guys, I was not having a great day, but showing up and doing the video and connecting with you guys, and I get such delight in looking at your comments and knowing that it's positively impacting others too. I think I would definitely say at this midpoint that it's already been amazing, and it's only halfway through. So there's so much more to come. If you haven't joined the channel yet, I hope you consider coming along, because what we talk about are Sarah's principles, and that's joy, harmony, beauty, order, simplicity, and gratitude. So it can be anything from, like, if we're talking about order, it might be how to organize your drawer or your housekeeping tasks or something like that, all the way to coming up with fun little ways to bring joy into your life. Simplicity, like simplifying things, living a simpler life, beauty, looking for beauty everywhere, seeing it in other people and things. Harmony is like the balance. This is my year of balance, by the way, for those of you that don't know that. I am 44 years old and it's 2020, and I always pick a word for the beginning of the year and for the theme of the year. And so my year this year is my year of balance. Let's see if there's other guys. So happy to hear you say all these good things. Oh, enjoy the simple little things. That's really important. Yes. That's what simple abundance is about. You know, people hear the word abundance and they think money, you know, but it's really simple abundance is, I didn't even say anything about gratitude, but it's really being grateful for the little things that you do have. And then that brings more good things to you. So more about what midsummer is in other places, just quick little things. So apparently the Midsummer Celebration is one of the oldest holidays in human history. This is Wikipedia. And it's practiced in nations throughout the world. It usually occurs between June 21st and 24th, although the actual day may differ between cultures. And I noticed that, I think it was in Sweden, they like to have it on a Friday and a Saturday, so they probably do it whatever the Friday and the Saturday closest to those dates are. Midsummer in Latvia is almost like our Thanksgiving, we're told. In Sweden, it's one of the most important holidays in the whole Swedish calendar. And it covers, like I said, a full Friday and a full Saturday, because they have big parties on Midsummer's Eve and also all during the day. They have flower-fashioned maypoles, and they do dancing, food, flowers, and alcohol. There's a strong mystical component in the Swedish tradition of it too. In Norway, they celebrate it today on the 23rd. It's not as grand as in Sweden, it says. We were just recently, yesterday's video, talking about herbs. It says they really use a lot of plants and herbs in their celebration in Norway. And there's something about, oh, there's a little thing here that says, if a girl could find 7 different flowers and hide them under her pillow on St. John's Eve, then she would see her husband in her dreams. That's kind of like the tradition in our culture where, don't you sleep with the cake under your pillow from a wedding and then you're supposed to see your husband? Is that what it is? So that's cute. All right. And then in Portugal, they carry flowering garlic plants. They hit people on the head with them. Oh my goodness. This is to honor St. John, who it was claimed was a rowdy youth and often hit his head with the garlic plant. I've never heard that before. Actually, it says in Portugal that the celebrations are remarkably similar to Mardi Gras, where anything goes. That sounds like mayhem. The Russian version, there's many old folk traditions. It's mostly associated with water and fertility. Young girls float flower garlands on rivers and attempt to tell their fortunes from the movement. Boys and girls also jump over bonfires to test the strength of their relationship. If they don't hold hands for the entire jump, the couple is predicted to separate. My goodness, there's a lot of ritual in these things. In Canada, it says that the holiday was brought over to Canada by the first French colonists. They light bonfires and host an impressive festival. And then just a nod to the summer solstice that was mentioned. The summer solstice has been celebrated for thousands of years, and its influence has reached into many countries around the world, possibly even yours, is what it's saying to the reader. I wonder, do you guys do anything to celebrate the solstice? longest day of the year. We're having a really nice summer so far. It's only first couple days, but it's been nice. I was going to tell you too. Remember, for those of you that are following along in the book, one of the things Sarah said about June was you wanted to make it a strawberry delightful month. So I didn't go so far to make strawberry shortcake or anything, but I cut up some strawberries and I have unicorn toothpicks. Oh, I also forgot. Fairies, and I'm going to talk a little bit about what fairies like and if you're trying to attract them into your yard. First of all, I'll ring a little bell to bring them in. I have some wind chimes here too. Fairies like music, apparently. And they also have sweet tooth, so I have some little confetti for them. It's edible. Oh, Laura says her cat Bowie came in when he heard my voice. He's always listening to the channel with her, probably wanting to hear his girlfriend Annabelle. Annabelle, did you just come in? I think she's sleeping. Oh, he's making all kinds of noise. Yeah, these unicorn toothpicks I got at a bookstore nearby. All right. I have some more questions for you guys about some famous fairies. Let's see if you do better than my other question. You know, we talked about the Midsummer's Night Dream. Does anybody know the name of the main character in that play? If you saw Dead Poets Society with Robin Williams, you will remember that one of the students was really excited to be cast as this part. Who knows the name of that fairy? It was a woodland fairy, a little sprite. Oh, you're really close. Oh, wait. Oh, you were making a joke. Is that your name, Allison? Pippa Ice Glow? I forget. Somebody's name was Pippa. I thought you were close because the beginning of the name it begins with a P. Anybody know? Yeah, I think you will. Pretty sure if anybody watched the show Glee, I'm pretty sure, nope, not Penelope, not Pipper. If you watch the show Glee, I remember one of the characters' name. I'm pretty sure that's where this also came from. All right. It's Puck, P-U-C-K. All right. Well, this is an easy one. Who's the fairy in Peter Pan? Yay! Resisting from Googling. Not Tinkerbell, I hope. Maybe you're a question behind. The chat might be delayed for some people. Yes, Tinkerbell. Yay! Puck. Yes. All right, good. What about... This is a tricky one, but I think you'll remember this one. 2 words? I'm not sure what you're asking, Laura. Okay. Does anybody, this is a tricky one, does anyone remember the name of the fairy who was King Arthur's sister? She was a fairy. She sort of haunted him. I think at one point in the story, he gets stuck in the woods with her for a while, I think. Oh, Tinkerbell, it's 2 words. Tinkerbell is 2 words. At least on here, it's Tinker Bell. If Disney is watching, don't sue me, please. Yay, Annabelle came in. Annabelle, you going to say something? Hi, you going to say something? Your boyfriend's watching. Hi. You going to say something? I know, it's all weird in here. Normally we don't have all this stuff set up in here, do we? She doesn't know what to think. Hey, I looked away for a second and you guys got it. Yes, Morgan Le Fay. Very good. That was a tricky one. All right, another one that if you're a Disney fan, you should probably know this. Who's the fairy from Pinocchio? And I'll give you a hint. It has a color in the name. So it's the blank fairy, and the word blank is a color. Oh, thank you, Barbara. Tatiana is the queen of the fairies in Midsummer's Night Dream. Yes, Dawn got it. Blue fairy, yes. Oh, and Barbara very close behind. All right, you guys know your Pinocchio. Here's another sort of tricky one because I didn't know that this was a fairy. In the movie The Wizard of Oz, there's not Glinda. We already know about Glinda. She's a fairy, but there's a fairy at the end who is also a princess. What is her name? Oh, Jayla's the one that got the blue fairy done? Okay. Thanks, Jayla. Oh, Laura, you're on a delay, so you have a disadvantage for the answers. All right, so who's the fairy who shows up at the end of The Wizard of Oz? Who is also a princess. I never actually knew that she was a fairy, but I guess she does sort of light up. She's sort of like luminous. No. We know Glinda's a fairy. That's a good guess, and she is from The Wizard of Oz. Not that fairy. This is another fairy. This this fairy is actually the rightful princess of Oz. And when Dorothy, oh, you know what? Now that I'm saying this, she might not be in the first movie of the she may not be in the typical movie. I saw The Return to Oz, and that's why I remember this character, actually. So this is extra tricky if you didn't see The Return to Oz. Nobody knows it? Wonder if I say this, you guys will remember it. Well, Laura, I just said that I don't know that this character, now that I say it, was in the first movie. I think she's actually only in Return to Oz, which I loved. Actually, that was in 1985. It was really unique, Return to Oz. I didn't even show off I have a set of these fairy mugs. All right, you guys give up. It was Princess Ozma. Does that sound familiar? All right, this is an easy one. Who's the fairy in Cinderella? If you Google Ozma, Ella. I think she's really only in the second. I think she's only in the second Return to Oz movie. Sorry, that was a hard one. Yes, this is Amy Brown, the artist Amy Brown. I actually have pink ones and green ones. The green one, the fairy's doing something a little bit different, but this is the one I grabbed. Yes, Barbara got it first, fairy godmother. I think, Laura, you were close behind, but your Wi-Fi was a detriment. Okay, couple more. From Sleeping Beauty, what are the three fairy godmother, or well, they weren't fairy godmothers. They were just the three good fairies. What are their names? I love that movie. And you know, I also was reading that Maleficent was actually considered to be a fairy too. But she sort of turns into the bad guy. Oh, is that Dawn or Jayla that got it? Because you guys were really fast. Stephanie, I know. I think this is the last of the trivia. It wasn't meant to be a trivia night. Yep. Oh, Laura, you got flora and fauna. You're just missing one more. The blue one that's really feisty that goes. Arr! Oh, Jayla, good job. You got that first. Flora, fauna, and Merriweather. All right. And actually, the last one I don't have any trivia on, but I'll just say maybe the most famous fairy is the Tooth Fairy, right? I actually dug out my little Tooth Fairy pillow that my mom made me, that you would put the tooth in the pocket. I was thinking of that earlier, and I knew right where it was. All right, so if you haven't watched it, I hope you'll go back and watch my video from, it's 2 videos ago. The very end of that video is a tour of my fairy garden along with my patio. So what if you want to attract fairies into your garden? What do you think you'd do? Oh, Jayla was fauna. Oh, okay. They did the Sleeping Beauty for the Anderson. I forget the name of the theater group. What, these wind chimes here? Is that what you're talking about, Elizabeth? You know, I've had those for, I think, 20 years. I invited the person that gave them to me, but I haven't seen her in the chat, so she may not have been able to make it tonight. Just a little bit about, yes, leave them, build them houses, right? I see some answers. Yes, fairies like sweet things. Yes, yes. So just a little bit about fairies in general. The word fairy, it comes from the Latin fata, which means fate, and the Old French fairy, meaning enchantment. So that's pretty cool. And the earliest mentions of fairies in writings were way back in the 12th century in England. We know that they're in a lot of fairy tales, right? We just went through a whole bunch of them. Sometimes fairies can be associated with mischief, though, you know? And you might hear like you're trying to get them out of your house if they're causing problems. In fact, C.S. Lewis, who wrote the Chronicles of Narnia, you know, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and those other books, there was apparently in that book, there was a haunted cottage. I don't remember that, but it was feared more for its reported fairies than for ghosts. Also, you know, well, we talked about feng shui on the channel here last month. And one of the things with feng shui that you didn't want to have in your house was the fact that your front door directly when you opened it that you directly saw to your back door, or it's like a slider door. But I was reading this earlier. It says cottages were sometimes built with the back door directly aligned with the front, both being left open at night whenever it was deemed necessary to let fairies pass through the cottage. That's interesting, huh? In traditional stories and legends, fairies didn't have wings. Flying varieties grew into popularity much later. Most of us can't see fairies. They live in a parallel universe called the realm of the Fae, F-E-Y. According to legend, fairies went into hiding to avoid us because it says we invaded their land. So what else could they do? So now they're hiding and we don't see them. So you guys had some good suggestions about how to bring them to the yard. So food, yes, they have sweet tooth, like I said. They like a good snack. You can leave an offering of food or drink in your garden. I saw on one website that it said you can put champagne in walnut shells. Isn't that neat? I could see how they would like that. Organic berries, bird seed, wildflower seeds, mushrooms. So they like snacks. This suggests that you can use little pretty teacups and fill them with treats. Fairies love milk, cream, butter, honey, wine, and sweet baked goods. I did see on one website that honey is like the main thing that they really like because they're sort of like honeybees, like, I don't know. You think that I think of fairies as being a little bit larger than honeybees. What about you guys? I haven't seen any fairies except for things like I have little statues of fairies, but I haven't with my own eyes seen a fairy in my patio. Somebody asked me if I had. I actually haven't. The only thing I've put out for them is their little village of houses, but I haven't really put out any offerings for them. You can also plant flowers that attract them. They like to have sweet, fragrant flowers. I need to get the champagne out, somebody says. They also like herbs. Oh, I planted lavender. Lavender is one of them. Lavender is a useful herb that blooms tiny, brilliant flowers with the sweet aroma, perfect for fairy gardens. Rosemary, we just talked about that yesterday. It's great for attracting kind-hearted fairies. Thyme is a great herb also to attract fairies. You can Google this and you'll find tons of things. Fairies love water, including water features in your fairy garden. That's another way to attract them. And they like shiny things. Like I saw, it said you could put shiny coins out, and they would like that. And crystals also. Elizabeth's on a farm, and she says she can only sprinkle non-food items, or the chickens will steal them. Add music to your garden so you could have wind chimes. Or don't they have those things that catch rain and sort of make like a raindrop sound when the rain falls? You can create fairy houses. In fact, I told you guys, and I found an old, goes back to 2007 or 8. I had a party at my house way back then. That was something I found in an old file. And at that fairy party, we actually made fairy houses. And it's really fun if you can make your fairy house with natural elements from outside, like little twigs and moss and things that you find. I wonder what the fairies and chickens think of each other. The other thing you want to do is to be generous to wildlife and good to the earth if you want the fairies to like you and come and stay. You want to leave little offerings of magical ingredients. I guess fairies are going to do magic, so you want to leave them ingredients. So one of the most important ingredients that you can leave is honey, like I said. So that must be, it says honey is hard to come by for fairies. So that must be something they need in their potions or something. Fresh cut herbs and small, easy to transport crystals are always a great option for leaving as an offering. Leave your favorites to help draw fairies similar to you to your garden. And then the last thing is tell your fairies that they're welcome. You want to tell them that you're happy to have them and join you in your garden, and that you are happy about their amazing world of magic. You can also put rose petals out for them too, apparently. So speaking of little fairy offerings, oh wait, there's one more thing. Let's see. I mentioned the herbs. If there's flowers, some of the flowers are primrose, bluebells, pansies, lily of the valley, and forget-me-not. Yeah. So speaking of little things, this is reminiscent of a party for a younger person, but you guys are going to have, I have a collection of small little fairy-sized things in these butterfly wings. I'm going to show it to you for about 15 seconds. You are not allowed to take a picture of the screen or write them down, but after the time is up, then I'm going to ask you to remember what you remembered. So just study it. I'm only going to give you maybe 10 to 15 seconds. Okay, time is on the clock now. I don't know if you can read the words on this one here. Yes, Barbara, I went to the fairy festival. Barbara's mentioning a fairy festival that happens in Groton, Vermont. All right, 2 more seconds. Commit this to your memory. All right, you're done. I went to the fairy garden or the fairy festival last year in Groton, Vermont. They have all these fairy houses that they make in the woods. They're so neat. And I wore my fairy wings, and you can meet the queen of the fairies. And you know what? I just realized I had some fairy temporary tattoos, and I was going to put one on, and I forgot. All right. That was a test for your brain. You didn't know you were going to have to be smart and use your brain for this, did you? You thought you could just show up and laugh at me in my fairy wings. All right, who has something to say that they remembered seeing in the little butterfly? I'm waiting. Yep. Wow, well, you remembered a lot. Whoa! Bell, ladybug, aqua dragon. Wow, you guys are very observant and have great memories also. So somebody said, you made a little song? I gave you too much time then. Yes, there's a bell for attracting the fairies. There's a ladybug painted rock. The artist is here in the chat. shall remain nameless unless you want credit, and then I will say. Did anybody say this one? Dragonfly. Yes, a rock with a dragonfly. I have a bunch of spirit stones like this with various animals. These little mice, it's a wedded couple. They sit near a clock, you know, like the little mice that run up the clock. They're in one of my feng shui corners. You couldn't probably see exactly what this was, but this is a little trinket box. Isn't that cool with the butterfly? I thought it was very enchanting. I think the fairies would like that. You were right. There is a unicorn. This is one of those things that you can put around your charger for your phone. Did anybody say? Yes, a green box. This is a little green present box. It actually has a little pendulum in it. This, I don't even know if you would, yes, someone said, oh wait, someone said a purple bag. Okay. This is a little herbal sachet of some herbs. And then it was hard to see, you couldn't really read it, but this was moonstone, a little tiny thing of moonstone. Good job. You guys are good. I love little party games like that. I love going to parties. If I was having you here at my house, we probably would have done something silly like dress up like a fairy and fly around like a little obstacle course or something. I also want to give a shout out. See this thing right here? You may have noticed this. I don't know if you can see, probably couldn't see it from back there, but can you see how she's in there? Shout out also to my friends who are on the chat that this was one of my birthday presents one year, and I just have like a light up flickering candle in there. This is something that you could make at home. They got the instructions online, and you can find this fairy cutout on the internet very easily. And then it's sort of like a decoupage tissue paper with sparkles on the top of it in a little ball jar with some twine. I keep it on the counter and it lights up. It's fun. Yes, maybe next year we could have a little gathering. I agree. That would be fun. Also, I have some pictures from past parties and other things that I found. Like Sarah mentioned making a cake for the fairies. And look at this one here. This is so beautiful with all those fresh berries that the fairies like and layers of maybe like pound cake and whipped cream. Look at this one. Can you see that with all the animals and everything on it? If you Google having a fairy tea party, there are so many ideas. This is a picture from one of my other fairy tea parties where a friend of mine made sandwiches, little like cucumber sandwiches. Can you see? It's hard to tell with the glare. Oh, and there's a little fairy in the middle on the plate. But she used cookie cutters that were shaped like butterflies and made those. So that's a fun idea. This is from my fairy tea party 2 summers ago. We had sort of a vegetarian theme. That was my beautiful salad. There's a green glow behind me. Well, there's green in my fairy wings. But are you seeing my aura? Or are you seeing this green book maybe? Do you see the fairies back there that came to attend as well? This is hard to see because the picture sort of faded, but this was for my fairy tea party here at my house a couple years ago. I had a couple of these left over. I had like little treat goodie thingies for my attendees, and I had bubbles in there. I had little fairy dust. I forget what the other thing was, and then you can see I had those unicorn toothpicks. And I had forgotten about these, so I was looking through the pictures. I just got these at our local supermarket, but they have those roses. Can you see it? It's hard to see in this light, but the roses are like rainbow colored, so each petal is a different color. It's really neat. So I had those, and then everybody got to keep one. And then also, since I was looking through, you love the fairies behind me. The sandwiches are cute, aren't they? They were delicious too. I was looking through those pictures in the same picture folder. Remember, if you did watch my video about my fairy garden with the houses, I told you that I just sort of did an understated garden this year, and I have them sort of in a little village. In past years, you can see right here, this is a picture from past years, I used to do little pots for each of them, and then like, see this one, I would have like blue crystal sand, this one would have like sand and then rocks, and I had like little flowers behind each one. So that's why this year my garden is a little bit understated, but I still like it. It's just more like communal living this year. It's not so separated like it has been in the past. So those are just some fun little fairy things. Okay, one more activity interactive activity. I have a little story that you guys are gonna help me with by giving me some words. It's kind of like Mad Libs, okay? So first you need to, and I'm gonna go with the first person. Sorry, Laura, I know your Wi-Fi is slow, so you might not be fast enough, but I'm gonna go with the first answer that I see. So I need a main character's name for this story. First person to give me a name, I will put it down. Gandalf, okay. I think I have to put it in more than one place. Okay, so now I need an adjective for Gandalf. So an adjective is a word that describes something. So give me an adjective for Gandalf. Okay. Okay. Now I need a noun, but it's got to be the name of a cool place to live. Iceland. Okay. Okay. Now we need another sort of mythical character, or yeah, a mythical creature. I knew there was going to be a mermaid. Okay. All right. Okay, Ella says troll, but I already have mermaid. Okay. Now I need a magical item. A wand. Okay. And then I need another place. Not like a geographical place, but like a place that magical item might be. you know, it could be like under a table, so something like that. Okay. Yeah, I can do that. City. Okay. Now I need a feeling. Anyone? A feeling. Inspired. Okay. All right. Now I need an animal, like a scary animal. Oh, now I need, I like that, Elizabeth. I already got the other one right before it, but how about now I need something valuable? I just was looking over here because I'm wondering if that 200 means, does that mean 200 people are watching? I don't think so. I wonder what that 200 means. Maybe that's how many chats there's been so far today. That might be what it is. I don't think there's 200 people watching. Oh, hi. There's Annabelle. Oh my goodness. All right. Okay, now I need something handsome. I didn't think that one would be very hard. Could you not think of something handsome? I'm going to say Prince, since nobody said it. Okay. And then, oh, I think that's all I need, because some of them are repeats. Oh, Bowie the cat. I know. Sorry, I already had. He would be handsome. All right, I'll switch it to Bowie the cat because I just came up with Prince because nobody else said it. All right, here's our fairy story, okay? Once upon a time, there was a hairy Gandalf who lived in Iceland. One day, a mermaid came to visit, bringing news about a wand in the nearby city of Oz. The hairy Gandalf was very inspired to hear such interesting news and quickly made plans to visit the city of Oz. Before they arrived, a ghastly Wolverine leaped out in front of their carriage. The Wolverine demanded all of their engagement rings. It was then that the handsome Bowie the cat appeared as if out of nowhere and chased away the Wolverine. The hairy Gandalf and the handsome Bowie the cat decided to throw a grand party to celebrate. The end. I love you guys. All right, the very last thing. We mentioned Amy Brown. I have some Amy Brown cards. I figured I would pull a card, a little message card for us. Comes with a little booklet. Kind of like a fortune for today. Just for fun. Thank you guys for coming. Actually, I also wanted to show you what that green book is there too. So after the card, stick around and I'll show you what that green book is. Somebody said they were admiring my little setup. The screen is showing more than the webcam showed me. I didn't know you were going to be able to see the top. I had set it up so that it was kind of like cut off. So you weren't supposed to be seeing those things on my wall. But I guess YouTube has a bigger, like the webcam has a different field of view than it does when I set up my setup. Thank you, Laura. What are you doing there? Do you have some tea where you are? And did you get dressed up? Because I was looking back. Laura came to my fairy tea party that I showed you some of the pictures from. And she has a cute little fairy dress that's perfect for fairy tea parties. Did you get dressed up? Oh, I've been so excited for this. You guys have no idea. I really, I just couldn't wait for tonight. I had so much fun. Just even like picking out the little things to go into the butterfly, going around my house going, what do I have that's little that would be like fairy size? All right, let's see what this fairy card says. All right, we got, wait a minute. All right, I don't like this one. It says, when fairies go bad. I hope it's a good message. Let's see, hold on. Looks like this. We did talk about how fairies can be sort of mischievous. Let's see what it says. Number 10. The key word is surrender. All right, so maybe this will be a good message. Surrender. This is the key word for this card. When everything is going wrong and life is not making sense, surrender. Herein lies the message of Spirit's love. Just give it all up to the one in capitals. Ask for the perfect solution and relax and expect it to happen. Remember that Spirit's timing is perfect. Allow the universal energy to work through you and through all avenues to bring about a solution. Be open to the magical workings of Spirit in your life. No fairy is truly bad, and that goes for humans also. Recognize your divine self. Remember to allow any guilt, shame, anger, or fear of the present or past to drop away from you so that you walk free. There is no room in your life for guilt, shame, anger, or fear. You are always divinely forgiven and must forgive yourself in order to forgive others and to have peace. Look inside. What are you holding on to? Bless and release anything and everything that is not for your highest good. Thank it for the job it has done in your life and the lessons it has brought. Now, release. Feel the pure crystalline light of divine love as it washes around your body. It releases from your aura all that is not of your highest good. It penetrates your cells with the light of healing and love. It surrounds your body with protective barrier to assure that you are fully protected. It opens you to the love and understanding of spirit. Everyone has a second chance, whether on this plane or another. You can choose to be forgiven and to forgive. You can choose to walk in divine grace. God is not a punisher. It is we humans who punish ourselves. When we release this habit of punishing ourselves, we free up so much energy for constructive use. Move into this energy and use it from this day forward for the highest good of all. That was actually pretty cool. There's a little chant at the bottom. It says, "In the light of true knowledge, I now see my way free of the burdens that once bound me. I give gratitude and thanks to all they have taught me along my path. I give thanks for the state of grace in which I now choose to live free and in peace. I accept this true grace into my heart and into my life, and I walk in the divine light. So be it." And then it says, "Wave a white flag today." That was pretty cool, actually. So when fairies go bad, I guess it seemed kind of ominous from the name of it, but that was pretty cool. Surrendering. That's a neat message. I felt like that resonated with me. I missed some of your comments. Hold on while I was reading. Thank you, Barbara, so much. Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you, Allison. Thank you, Laura. Thank you, Dawn and Jayla. Thank you, Barbara. Oh, thank you, Annabelle. Thank you, Ella. And the last thing, I'll just show you really quickly. This is a really cool book. It's called How to Find a Flower Fairy. And every page, it's a pop-up book. So every thing is three-dimensional. See, like that, how it pops up? It's really cool. Yeah, and I was told this is available at the library. I don't know if it's available at your library, but it's a book that you can get at the library. I think I'm going to sign off with that one. Thanks so much for being here and for watching my channel. If you haven't already, I hope you will like and subscribe. And Laura, that's okay. We're closing up now, so no worries if you have to get going. Thanks again. This was a lot of fun, something definitely unique that you may never be able to say you went to a virtual fairy tea party live on YouTube. I don't know if anybody else has done this before. Yes, surrender. Yes, it's good for me. I'm glad you guys were all able to connect with each other too. Sometimes I see your comments and I like how you're interacting with each other on the channel too. So bye everybody. I'm going to end the stream. Big hugs, kisses to you all, and fairy wishes and fairy dust. Bye-bye.